Oh, well, welcome to Friday, Yokers. The first YokeTalk on Friday. It feels like it's been so long, yet it's only been a few days. You know?
Yes, it does. Friday, though. Friday. Guys, you will see there's a couple of new changes. First of all, it's 4:30 on a Friday. So welcome to the Reconnect if you're coming in for the Connect, and welcome to the YokeTalk if you've never been here. It's a good time where me and Unworthy Seraph, we go over some topics of gaming throughout the week, but we also go through life topics, and we're trying a little bit something new this week now that we are doing a Reconnect stream. So Seraph, why don't you tell them what we're going to be trying out, kind of testing the waters with here?
Yeah, so as you can see, the chat is on the screen there in the center. Doesn't it look beautiful right there? I'm pointing the right way. I'm inverted.
You are.
For you. Oh, I thought you were trying to say that I was pointing the wrong way.
Oh, no. I was just pointing at the chat.
Yes. But you can all see that the chat is here. So all your lovely names and messages are here on screen. And the reason for that is because a few days ago when we had our bonus episode, we realized that there was a lot of great conversation and input that can come from the chat. And we want to experiment a little bit with incorporating that a little bit more in the podcast. So in the past, we've been a little reluctant to do that because we don't want the recorded experience to feel diminished from the live experience. But one of the ways that we thought to maybe mitigate that a little bit is by putting the chat here on screen. And then one of the things we're going to be doing verbally is just kind of being a little more clear when we're referencing the chat and talking to the chat, so that those that are listening after the fact can still follow the conversation. And know that we are talking to a chat, and then maybe they'll want to come watch it live. So that is why the chat is here now. Welcome to the screen, chat. It's good to have you here. And we'll see how we'll see how talking to you goes. We'll see how it goes. I'm excited.
It will go great. I'm excited about it. But anyways, guys, as we normally do, we're going to preview some of our topics that we're going to go over today. We have a few main topics and then a few rapid topics. I'll be honest, I might be more excited about the rapid topics just because of two of them. I'll say two of them right now because one of them is just awesome. But anyways, so as we just talked about, we're going to be experimenting with the chat. And so we will be talking to you guys every once in a while. If you guys have questions, things like that, we might answer them. We might just come in and answer them, even if they're real life questions, but we will see. Also, guys, we're going to be talking about Fortnite's experimental story is an attempt to create the entertainment experience of the future. I have no idea what this is about.
Tall claim.
But Fortnite, and Epic, they make claims. They make claims against.
They make claims. They make legal claims.
Make legal claims against people, but we won't get into that today. We might, but we'll see. But anyways, also, guys, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate leaker reportedly reveals the final 2 DLC characters. We're gonna tell you guys who the 2 DLC characters are, and I will give you my thoughts on whether this leak is actually true or not, and why. It really is hilarious. So finally, the last main topic that we have is a wireless Valve Index with inside-out tracking would be immense and isn't entirely unrealistic. I have no idea what that means, but I'm sure Seraph loves the tech stuff, so he's gonna give us everything. But Seraph, why don't you go on with the rapid topics?
Yes. So in other VR news, a Half-Life Alyx mod called Return to Rapture turns BioShock into a whole new VR campaign. Looked super cool. So we can discuss that a little bit. The next Among Us map is finally coming out. It's been teased since December. We finally have a release date. So we'll be talking about that, what's in the map and what we can expect. And there's a job ad for professional Minecraft landscapers. And children keep applying. Can't say I blame them.
I have my thoughts.
I can't say I blame them. But all of this and more on the new Friday YokeTalk. My goodness. When we get to the Minecraft one, it's
I can't wait. I have so many questions.
It's so
I have
good.
so many questions, but
So good. Stick around, everybody. It's going to be a great show today. First on the dock, Fortnite's experimental story is an attempt to create the entertainment experience of the future. Buzz, I want to get your initial thoughts on just that statement. Just that state. How does it make you feel?
Fortnite's
what does it do
I'm
to your
confused.
heart?
First of
You're
all,
confused.
that title confuses me. The entertainment experience of the future. Isn't all video games trying to do that? I dropped the mic.
I mean, kind of.
like I don't know. It's just like the entertainment experience. Every video game is trying to do that of the future. You're always trying to make games go further. Whether I'm not even talking about like in the future, like in the game. I'm talking about just like putting like game like everything. You're trying to move everything forward, trying to push the boundaries of the new consoles, trying to, kind of just do new things. And I feel like this is every single developer. And so you creating a story, that's fine. Create a story. Sounds like a great idea. Legend of Zelda has already done that. They created a story and they put it in the future by putting it on a Switch so I can bring it around with me. Like, I don't know. It just seems like this is what every developer in every game is doing. I haven't read the article yet, but that's my initial thoughts from the title alone.
Gotcha. Amazing. I want to stop one moment to point out this message from the chat and from Wolf the Adventurer. He said, "I'm with these guys," and he pointed arrows to each side.
I saw that earlier, but now it's gotten to our faces now, so it's great.
Well
it's great.
done, Wolf the Adventurer. You guys can get a little creative there in the chat. I love it. All right, but yeah. So yeah, honestly, it's a bit of a long article. I read over it earlier, and they basically want to make Fortnite like almost like a new genre entirely, which I don't really see other than the fact that it's like an amalgamation of a bunch of stuff now because they have a single player mission.
They have the battle royale, and then they have like Save the World or something, right?
I don't know if they're still doing that. I
never played it. I never saw anybody play it.
That was the original one before the battle royale. I honestly don't know if they're still doing that. I would be surprised if they didn't stop doing it. But one of the things that I don't know if I buy that the article mentions is they've said that that they planned on doing this from the start. So the quote is, "Our approach since the start, or our goal, has been, how do we create truly mass-scale, broad-based entertainment? And I always think that the way to do that is through narrative conceit." And I don't know if I buy that. Simply because, like, Fortnite wasn't even a thing, really, until it blew up as a battle royale.
Right.
And maybe they could have expected it to blow up. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they just had this galaxy brain plan from the start, and I'm just wrong. But I find that a little hard to believe. I think it's more likely that they recognized their success and then had plans to capitalize on it and try to do the most that they could with it.
Right.
And it seems now like they're just kind of saying this to like be like, we always wanted this from the start.
Well, yes and no. I mean, I think that like they're trying to tell a story through a battle royale, and that's extremely difficult. Okay, you have the comet that came, you have the black hole that people watched for 2.5 days, which I still don't understand how more people were watching the black hole than actually watch gameplay of this game. There's a whole lot going on here. But now they want to actually create a storyline and have characters that you can sympathize with.
So the article explains that the main character is actually the island.
So that's the problem.
The main character is actually the island.
That's where the problem arises, in my opinion, and so they go on to say that Star Wars is an awesome universe, but really it's about the journey of Luke and these characters, which I already disagree with that entire statement right there, because there was 9 movies and Luke was in 3 of them. You care so much about these characters and their journey, and it happens to take place in this fantastical, awesome backdrop that you care about as well. But it's really that lens, and most stories are told in that direction. So are they trying to go in a different direction, or are they actually going to make somebody a main character? Like, are they going to make Peely or Agent Jones the main character
Peely,
at this point?
Got splatted by a Hadouken in the cinematic. I
feel bad.
The fun fact about the most recent cinematic cutscene is that it was co-directed by the Russo brothers.
Yes, I did hear about that.
Which, if you don't know, for those of you listening, they directed the past 2 Avengers films. So
yeah, Infinity War and
cool.
Endgame. Yep,
pretty cool. Yep. I could definitely see the Marvel vibes from it, but
and there's a lot of Marvel Fortnite crossover going on.
So it's not really surprising.
I would be very surprised to see Fortnite change their direction in any way, shape, or form, only because it has blown up so much as a battle royale, and to take that away from the community, something like, literally, let's be honest here, we had H1Z1, PUBG, and Fortnite, right? And people flocked to each one during their time, but Fortnite is the only battle royale that has really stuck around. Okay, Warzone, but that's different. Okay. It's very different. It's a first person shooter, all sorts of other things. Well, so is H1Z1 though. Interesting. Anyways, I don't even know about PUBG. I didn't play it, but Fortnite, they're still at the top of Twitch. They're not the #1 game anymore. It was for a very long time, but they blew up, and Epic made a name for themselves. I had never even heard of Epic until Fortnite was around. So I would be very, very surprised to see Fortnite change directions completely at this point, because they have too much going for them. I feel like that's a bad strategy. Maybe there's some, like you said, Galaxy new plan that they're going to come out with, Black Hole #2, and just change the whole game.
I don't know. One of the thing that gets me with the whole "we wanted this from the start" was they talk about part of their vision for the game being like this huge crossover of a bunch of different franchises. I'm trying to find the spot. I knew ultimately that a big part of the story we could tell is these overlapping realities. So maybe that was an afterthought, obviously after they blew up and they realized the potential to do that. But that's one of those things. I just feel like it conflicts with the whole we had this vision from the start, because there's no way that you thought there was a chance that you were gonna overlap all these different characters.
It could have been a dream. It could have been a dream.
Maybe he had a vision,
not a plan.
He had a
dream,
a premonition.
I wasn't even talking about premonition, but I was just saying just a very lofty dream that came true.
I don't know. And again, we're not trying to hate on Fortnite or anything.
No, not at all.
It's definitely trying to innovate. And that is always a good thing. My gripe that I've always had with Fortnite, and maybe I just need to get over it, but is the fact that they didn't set out to make Fortnite as it is today. They set out to make a different game and their game just so happened to be an interesting twist on the newest popular game genre. I don't think that was intentional.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like we hear developers say this a lot. Like, this is what we want. And it's like, this isn't even close to where you started, though. And just,
Right?
it's very interesting.
It's not even close to where you started.
But
Yeah.
speaking of crossovers and crazy amounts of characters in games, guys, we're gonna move into the next segment.
The next biggest crossover.
The next biggest crossover, and probably an even bigger one, because there's crossovers coming from all platforms, all places. Super Smash Bros. The Ultimate Leaker reportedly reveals final 2 DLC characters. Okay, guys, this is not. I'm gonna give you my honest opinion about this. I don't think this is true. Why is there a video playing in my? Okay, no, it's still playing. Okay,
those autoplay videos, aren't they the worst?
Apparently, it's officially Justice League Day. Anyways, so we just got Pyra and Mithra. Okay, we've had Min this pack. Who is the second one that came out? We had Byleth, was it? No, Byleth was last pack. Min, Steve. We had Minecraft Steve. Then we had Sephiroth, and now we have Pyra and Mithra. And now somebody says that they're leaking the next 2 characters.
Yes.
I have a problem with both of these characters, first of all.
The first one. Go ahead.
The first one is a very popular character that people have been asking for a very long time.
The first one is honestly, believable.
Even if this one does come out, I still have very high doubts about the second one coming out in any way, shape, or form, because I do not think this is leaked. And honestly, Sakurai is the type of person, I think he doesn't even tell the developers that he's working with who he's working on. I don't. I think he just releases them himself. I don't think
he just makes the entire character himself.
I think he's a cyborg. Okay, that's just he doesn't
he's
sleep,
cyborg.
And he does everything himself. You saw the last reveal of Sephiroth. He filmed himself. There was nobody in his house.
No,
he even showed his empty house.
He actually said that the Sephiroth cinematic, or no, not the Sephiroth cinematic.
No, not Sephiroth.
The Pyra and Mithra cinematic.
Mithra.
They had the Xenoblade devs too.
Oh, that's true. Well, the cinematic.
Right.
The cinematic.
But he has to tell other people.
Yeah.
He has to.
Maybe one other person. But anyways. So the first leak, guys.
No, it's not Shrek. Don't worry.
If you guys want to close your ears, you can. But I don't think this is a spoiler alert. I think both of these characters, I don't think either of them are coming out. I would be very surprised if either of them came out. The first one is Dante from Devil May Cry.
That's believable.
This is believable. Many people have been asking for this character. A lot of people say that he won't come out because Devil May Cry is a rated mature game, which not just mature, but it's very mature. So you Solid Snake, okay? The only reason why he's in there is because, what's his name? Kojima. He was good friends with Sakurai, and he wanted Snake in there. And so he begged him for years to put Snake in there. And so Snake is in there since Brawl, right?
Well, then wasn't in
came
there
in Brawl.
4.
Then he was in there. Now he's back. But anyways, so we have Dante. And then we get to the second character. I didn't even know this character, who it was, because I've never played this game in my life.
I think it's the main character. I think.
That's fine. Protagonist, it says. Arthur Morgan from Red Dead Redemption 2.
I can't. No, I love the way that the article talks about this character, because it goes on to say, of course, if Arthur Morgan is added, it opens the door for Red Dead Redemption 2 to come to the Nintendo Switch. That said, the only thing more absurd than Arthur Morgan being added to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is the idea of the Nintendo Switch running Red Dead Redemption 2. But maybe that's where the rumored Nintendo Switch Pro comes into the equation.
the Super Switch. Don't call it the Nintendo Switch Pro. But okay.
Now, apparently, this leaker accurately leaked Sephiroth.
I didn't hear anybody leak Sephiroth, though.
Neither did I.
Leak him like 5 minutes after he was revealed?
But that's probably because nobody believed him.
That could be true. But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. I feel like Sakurai, Nintendo would get canceled if these two. Here's the thing. I don't mind Dante. That's fine. I've never played the games. I would be very underwhelmed if he came out, but I probably have a good time with him because Sakurai made Pyra and Mithra great to play, and I have no idea who the heck she is. Okay, I know she comes from Xenoblade Chronicles 2, 1, both. I don't even know. Who knows?
2.
Anyways,
2.
Is there more than 2?
Yes. Well, maybe.
I don't know.
It's from 2 though.
Okay. Well, regardless, if Arthur Morgan is the last character to come out after Steve, Sephiroth, like big name characters, I'd be happier with Waluigi.
Yeah.
Like I just
like it doesn't even make like you go on and on about how like, oh, they couldn't make Master Chief a character because he just shoots a gun or whatever. But like,
yeah, I don't. Well, yeah,
this is Arthur Morgan.
Literally,
the dude is literally just like a cowboy. He's just a cowboy. Like,
what's your side special going to be? Just like jumping on a horse and running over people like Wario does on his motorcycle? Like, what is it going to be? Like, I can't.
Like, there's nothing to pull from this character. Nothing.
No, I feel like we need Ori. And the developers have already said they want Ori in Super Smash Bros. I don't think it's going to happen.
Everybody wants their character in Smash Bros.
I know. I want Kratos and Ori. Those are the two that I want. I've never even played any of the Ori games, but I feel like he'd really be a great character. He would look, but listen, you have Pichu as the smallest character. Put another small character in there. I hate playing against Pichu, but I think it would be great to put another small character in there. You don't have anybody like him. He's the only of itself. You have a bunch of heavy characters, bunch of light characters that are somewhat tall. Pikachu, got Jigglypuff.
They never do more heavy characters for DLC.
True. Terry was pretty heavy, wasn't he?
Not like big characters, though. Like, I mean, like big characters.
That's true. That's true.
They don't do big characters.
All right, chat. I have a task for you. Put in the heavy character that you want. Not just heavy, but we want a big character. Okay, put that in chat, and we will see if we think that we're going to leak it. We're going to leak it.
We're going to leak it live right here on your podcast.
This is happening, but nothing against this guy, but I don't see Arthur Morgan being the second DLC character. I don't know what his source is, but his source I think is faulty.
Yeah, that's
so
I don't know about this one. I don't know, chat. Yeah. But anyway, what we also aren't quite sure about is a wireless Valve index with inside-out tracking. Now that is something.
What is it? What is this even? Inside-out tracking.
So inside-out tracking.
VR here.
Yes, we're talking about virtual reality. The Index is the top-of-the-line virtual reality headset right now, and Valve has come out with some patents indicating that they are developing a new headset that is wireless and includes inside-out tracking. And inside-out tracking... Rocket League car.
I'm sorry.
That's amazing. Thank you, chat. Inside-out tracking is where there are cameras on the outside of the headset that allows the headset to track it and the controllers on its own, and they don't need Lighthouse base stations set up in your room to track the headsets and the controllers. So that is what inside-out tracking is. Right now, the Index does use lighthouses. It does use outside tracking.
It does.
It does. And that gives you a more accurate tracking experience in general.
Okay.
So I would be very surprised if they were going to inside-out tracking. Wireless is another thing altogether, because the current Index doesn't even have like a wireless adapter. It's like, it's really, really hard to do because of the high resolution and frame rate of the Index. It's very, very difficult to stream video with enough without too much lag for a virtual reality experience. So that's like borderline impossible right now. They're working on it. They're like close, but it's not a thing yet. So, maybe they're expecting it to be a thing for this new headset. The patent also indicates eye tracking, a wide array of eye tracking inside the headset, which would be really, really cool and should point to the inclusion of foveated rendering, which is specifically for VR, where they because they're able to track where your eyes are looking, they can render where you're looking in the scene at a higher resolution than the rest of it. So wherever you're looking, they're rendering that part of the screen at a higher resolution, and then everything else around it is not being rendered at as high of a resolution, but you don't notice because that's in your peripheral vision and it's not what you're directly looking at.
We've gone too far in technology at this point, if that's the case.
Now here's the thing. Foveated rendering could be what enables them to do wireless, because there's less data you're needing to stream to the headset because it's not all being rendered at full resolution.
Yeah, and the thing that scares me is the very last sentence of this article. The very last sentence. You can bet it involve a good hike in the already premium $1,000 price tag, though. Mm-hmm. So we're looking at a $12, $13, $14, maybe even a $15 VR headset, and I'm sitting here and I want a $200 one. It's like, dang. But things are coming along, and as these things come out, they get cheaper as newer models come out, or it's cheaper to make them, even because at first these things are expensive to make. I'll be completely honest. I remember when the PlayStation 4 first came out, Sony said they were making $17 per system. Now they're making hundreds per system that they sell, right? But the thing is they were only making $17 because of how expensive it was to actually make the system. So I don't know. This is crazy.
I hope we see it.
Maybe one day. All right, guys, we got a few rapid topics that we're going to fly through, and then we're going to get into our life topic for the day. Hopefully we'll hit it around 5:03.
We have 2 minutes.
I'm going to do it 5.
So 5 minutes. You think we're going to blast through all these in 5 minutes? I think the Minecraft one alone is going to be 5 minutes.
That's true. All right. Half-Life Alyx mod return to Rapture turns BioShock into a whole new VR campaign, which I've never played any of the Half-Life series, but I guess that's really cool, right?
Yeah. So the cool thing here is that Half-Life Alyx is basically like the bar for like a first-person shooter single-player experience in virtual reality right now. So it's very well done. A lot of great mechanics, and so basically what these modders are doing is they're creating new gameplay experiences and story experiences within that engine, essentially. Because
for BioShock,
right? They said they did it for something else as well. It might have just been a completely original kind of story or environment, but the modder had worked on another one as well. But this time he's basically allowing you to play a BioShock experience in VR with the use of Half-Life Alyx's engine, which is really cool.
That is really cool.
Because if this keeps up, they could mod a lot of different things into this. They could do a Halo VR experience based off Alyx, and that would be stinking sick. I'd be all over that.
That's pretty cool. I mean, I don't have a VR headset, but I've played Beat Saber.
Beat Saber,
But
the best.
like my whole thing, like I remember when Skyrim first came out, and I always wanted that to be on VR, and obviously it is, and it was a little bit broken. I'll be honest. Like people were saying, don't just play the vanilla version. You need mods and things to get the game working to an extent. I would really like to see it like really just make it a good experience. You know what I mean? Like really make it a good experience. So this is pretty cool that modders are starting to do things like this now and being able to make because I'll be completely honest. If it wasn't for the modders in this world, we'd probably have a lot of games that don't work on VR.
Oh well,
a few.
Yeah. But usually the VR mods for games aren't like super VR intensive. They're usually just like you can play it with your VR headset and also use a controller.
Like it's pretty cool, but still. But even so, I'd still like to be able to just be in the world. But
that is not to say that modders are not super important to gaming, because we've seen tons of games come from mods, and Valve is no stranger to that. Because Dota 2, a game that Valve develops, came from a Warcraft mod. Right. How they managed to make that work legally, I don't know, to be honest. But
we'll actually never know. We'll never
know. So Valve has already said they love people that mod Alyx. When the game first came out, there were talks of are they going to release a non-VR version of Half-Life Alyx for those that want to play it, but they don't have a VR headset? And Valve was like, we don't have any plans, but we'd love to see modders do it. So like, Valve is all for modding, which is great.
That is pretty cool. The next one, the next Among Us map is finally coming out, and so it's a plane. It's a plane.
It is a plane.
There's ladders. There's moving platforms. And also there was something else in it that I can't remember what I watched the trailer, and there was something. So when you call for a meeting or when somebody dies, you can choose to start in a different room.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That is a game changer, because people follow people all over the place. And if you know the map well, I feel like that's huge. I think that's a great addition. I think that will honestly bring some people back to Among Us who have maybe played it at first and then left it for a little while. I think a lot of people are going to be coming back to it.
Yeah, I believe right now that feature is only in the new map, but it'll be interesting to see if they bring that feature into the previous maps. And honestly, I'm curious to see if it's a better experience for the game overall. I do think there is a level of like reason why everybody starts in the same place.
Sure.
Because it really allows you to kind of see what people are doing, and what directions they choose to take and who they choose to stick around and stuff. Whereas if people are spawning in different locations, that's a lot harder to figure out. So that could mean that there's just less information for people to go on. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's a bad thing. Who knows? I'll be interested to see where the community kind of leans towards.
It will probably be an option, I would think. Mm-hmm. It would probably be an option where you can start another place, or they can say, hey, you're only going to start like normal, like in the CAF or whatever it is for the starting area. So we'll see. But the new map is coming out. I'm excited to try it. I haven't played it.
March 31st, by the way.
In a while. March 31st. March 31st coming out soon. Finally, guys. Finally.
This is so good.
It is happening. There's a job ad for professional Minecraft landscapers, and children keep applying. I'm not surprised. I am not surprised. Wasn't this a thing in Animal Crossing when Animal Crossing got really big? Do you remember that? But it wasn't, they didn't like open up a professional landscaping like application system, but there was a group of people that made a team, made a business, and they were clearing weeds from people's islands. Do you remember that?
I don't know if I do. Maybe
it was amazing. I thought you were the one that brought it to my attention. Maybe not, but there was a group of people, and they made a company, and they would literally go to other people's islands, and for the amount of hours that they would work on the island clearing out weeds, they would be able to keep the weeds, and also the person would pay them money.
But
it probably fell apart real quick because Animal Crossing was really good for a little while, and then people stopped playing it. But I think now Minecraft has been around forever. Minecraft landscapers, professional.
Yeah, apparently the pay for these landscaping Minecraft jobs are pretty good at 50 euros an hour.
50 euros an hour.
It's pretty good.
That's not bad at all. I mean, that's actually really good. That's insane. Yeah. And I love the children keep applying.
We got to read some of these. They're so good. They're so good. So there's like these quotes from kids who have commented on the posting about it or something.
Oh no.
And so this one is, I'm 12. Is that okay? Like, I can work on weekends, 6 to 7 on weekdays. And then the article goes, that's true dedication. I can't imagine giving up my weekends to do more work, but Nick is on another level. It's also nice of them to squeeze in an extra hour of consulting on the weekdays, presumably between homework and dinner time.
Here's another good one. My father owns his own landscaping business, so I'm around gardening and landscaping a lot. I also have plenty of free time. Since I'm such a young age, kids will not feel creeped out as much as they would feel for an older person. Like,
this guy's thinking. He's thinking.
As you can see, I have all the skill sets and requirements for this job. Shoot me an email.
Most of these kids are all talk, but I appreciate that this one came with a resume in hand. Here's an example of their landscaping work that was made completely in survival mode.
Oh my gosh. And then there's a video after that. There's a video.
That's resume.
Oh man.
I love this one. I've been playing Minecraft almost every day since I was 7. I am 10 now. Said applicant Emma, perhaps from her Kindle Fire 8 tablet that they play Minecraft on.
Hello, can I participate if I do not have a game console and I am 14 years old?
Good question.
So anyways, are they paying taxes? Like, do they know what comes into work? Like, there's a lot that goes into these things, you know?
But the minimum age to work is 14 in the US and it's 13 in the EU. So some of them, the article said 14.
I thought it was 16.
Article says it's 14.
Now I'm not that old, okay? But back in my day,
old man dolls.
Back in my day, you had to be 16 to work and pay your taxes. All right. It varies by state. All right. Well, in my state, the home state of Connecticut, which I do not live in anymore, I had to be 16 to work, okay? Couldn't work at Stop and Shop or any other grocery store until you were 16. My first job at Stop and Shop. Thank you, Stop and Shop, for getting me started in my career path to becoming a pastor, apparently. But anyways, I was 16. Apparently, these kids are 12, 13, 14 years old. And hey, if they're 14, my goodness gracious.
Have a shot.
Listen though, for real, kids have ideas and they spend time on this and they have time for it as well. When they're not doing their homework, they're on Minecraft. Killing cows, killing lambs, making beds. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
Ali in the chat mentions that some states or countries have a maximum amount of hours that you can work until you're 18. That's probably true, you know.
That is true. Yeah, there's like child labor laws in the US, I know.
Probably and good things. Like that.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
And General Lee, his cousin is 14 and they work. So clearly.
Does he pay taxes?
Now the question is, does he work as a Minecraft landscaper? That's what I want.
That's the real question.
That's what I want to know, General Lee.
That's the real question. That's the real question. Anyways. Well, guys, we're gonna move on to our next topic, and we've been talking about uh, people applying for jobs lately and things like that. We're gonna actually go straight in and segue into budgeting. Okay, we did tell you guys that we are gonna talk about money, and kind of just. I think we're only gonna do 1 week of this, essentially. But I think there's a couple of good things that we can get out of just having the priority of being a good steward of your money, and why. Okay, because a lot of people, they get married or they're out on their own for the first time, they get their first big check and they go out and buy a PlayStation 5, and then they realize they don't have money for food. Okay, these things do happen in life. It's unfortunate, but it does happen. And the biggest thing that we want to encourage is really budgeting, what that looks like and what that means. Surf, I don't know if you had something to say to start off this topic, but I know that I know what I do when I start budgeting. So
Yeah, to be honest, I don't do like extensive budgeting. I've always been just pretty naturally good with my money. So I have some tips here and there, but I can let you go ahead and take the general budgeting knowledge.
Sure. So budgeting, obviously, you need to put everything in life, all of your life stuff into your budget, right? You got your electric bill, you got your car insurance, you got your car payment, you got your rent, you have all these things. But the very first thing, and obviously this is on God Squad Church channel, so I'm gonna get a little preachy on you here, but the thing is the first thing that we should always be doing, and when we start our budget, is looking at our giving to the Lord. Okay. And the reason why I say that is because if we look in the book of Genesis, you look at the story of Cain and Abel. Cain was giving to the Lord. Abel was giving to the Lord. God was not pleased with what Cain was giving him. Cain got jealous, went and killed his brother. Very interesting set of circumstances. He was very jealous of his brother because God was accepting Abel's sacrifices. But why was God accepting Abel's sacrifices and not Cain's? And the reason why was because Cain was essentially bringing his leftovers. Abel was bringing his first fruits. And so when I say first fruits, something that I do, and me and my wife do with our budget, is we ask God what it is that he wants us to give. We ask God, what is this sacrificial giving that you want us to do? And that can change for different circumstances. It can change from time to time, for sure. It's always going to hurt. It's more than likely going to be something that God's going to ask you to have a little bit of faith in. It might not look exactly right when you write it down on the sheet of paper, but that's the very first line is, what are you going to give to the Lord? Like you're offering to God. And so I encourage you, if you are not, if you are a part of a church, you have a home church, whether it be God Squad Church or a local church that you attend, wherever you're getting edified the most, and where you're, sorry, I just shook my camera like crazy, knocked in my microphone. But wherever you're getting edified the most and going to, I encourage you, if you are not giving an offering to that church, I encourage you to get on your hands and knees and ask God what it is that he wants you to give. If you're married, get on your hands and knees with your spouse and ask God what it is that he wants you to sacrifice. And that's what it really comes down to, is it's a sacrifice. He might give you a number that doesn't make any sense. He's done that to me and my wife before. And I can tell you without a doubt that God has always provided for us in those times. He is, and he's continuing to do so at this time, even right now. You know, things are tight, but the thing is God continues to provide over and over and over again. So that's my first part that I would say, the spiritual part about budgeting, because it's a big deal. Like God asks us to give an offering and a sacrifice to him. And I believe that's something that as Christians, we should all be doing. An interesting stat, by the way. I read this to Seraph, I believe, weeks ago. The average Christian today is tithing about 3.5% of their money. The average Christian, sorry, 2.7% of their money. 2.7. The average Christian during the Great Depression in America was averaging and tithing at 3.5% more than what we're doing today. And we're not in a Great Depression.
We are in a
So-
pandemic, but
We're in a pandemic. We are in a pandemic. But this is actually this stat goes back to 2019. So it's
Okay.
actually just before the pandemic as a whole. But the thing is that I feel like that's a big deal. Like I want to see people and there's nothing against somebody that can only do 2%. There's not anything against somebody that can only do 5% or anything like that, right? I'm not talking about percentages here and what people can or can't do, but what I am talking about is that it's a sacrifice and getting on your hands and knees and asking God what it is. If it's 11%, if it's 12%, maybe it's 7%. Maybe it's 52%. There's a crazy guy that I never knew him, but there's a story about him and I read about him. He was giving 90% to God. That's a lot of money, right? And so I'm not saying you have to do that, but I'm just saying whatever God gives you, it's going to look like a sacrifice and it probably will hurt, but that's the first thing that should be on your budget. The very first line before you take out rent, before you take out your car insurance, before you take out any other bill, you put down, this is my offering to God. It's your first fruits.
Yeah. There really is just a difference with generosity coming from your first thought instead of it being an afterthought, because it's easy to give anybody your leftovers, right? It's so easy, like, oh, I've got a little extra, I guess I'll give it away. But like a true, genuine, generous heart, they give first. And that's super important. And that stat, the 3.5 to 2.7, I believe it was, whatever it was.
Yep.
You may look at that and be like, oh, it only went down a little bit. Sure, it only went down a little bit, but like it went
Great Depression,
down.
the Great Depression, people were excited to get an orange in their stocking. Okay, like it. People were scraping for food and things like that during that time. People that were working, like people were excited just to get a piece of fruit in their stocking for Christmas. And now people are upset because they didn't get a PS5 because their parents wouldn't go out and buy it for the price of $2,000 on eBay. All right.
Thanks, scalpers.
So, thank you, scalpers. Once again. By the way, PS5s are up and down for sale right now. And so are Xbox Series X's if you want to try and get on Best Buy. Up and down every day.
Up and down.
Get on there, refresh all day long. You'll find it one day. I don't know when, but you will. Anyways, continue. Budgeting. So, anyways, all right. So here's what I would say about budgeting. That's the first part of it. That's the most spiritual part of it. But the Bible does ask us to be good stewards of our money, and I think there's a lot to be said about when it says that if you're faithful in a little, that God will give you more to be faithful in. Because if you're not faithful in the little, how can you be faithful with a lot, right? The Bible talks about that. And so when you're budgeting, be like there are people that are called savers and then there are people that are called spenders, okay? There's two different personality sets and things like that. But when you budget, really what you need to do is you need to put aside everything. You look at your bills, what the average is per month, and round up. Okay, round up. If your energy bill is normally $105, make it $115. Like round up. Always do that. But look at everything and put it all on a sheet of paper, or use there's a what's the app called? I can't remember it, but it's from if you guys never watched it, Dave Ramsey. He has
Financial
can't even
Peace.
think of what the Financial Peace. Yes, but the app, I think I have it actually.
Would it not just be the Financial Peace app?
No, it's not.
Oh.
Every Dollar. It's called Every Dollar, and you can essentially go on there and make your budget. I encourage you, download Every Dollar. It's a free app. It's really good. You can put in exactly what you make and budget out every little piece of your life, and it will really help. And when you're budgeting, you can honestly see, okay, because a lot of people, when they don't budget, what happens is they don't see how much they're spending on their bills. And then they decide, oh, well, I have $200 in the account right now, so I'm going to go and buy a $150 gaming chair. And then you buy a gaming chair and then you have a bill come in that you never put on your budget because you don't have one for $300, and now you're down to $50. Now what?
Yeah.
Like that's an issue, right? So budgeting is super, super, super important to be able to put down on paper. And me and my wife, we live by it. We live by it. And by the way, also, we want to open it up to you guys. If you guys have any questions, probably specifically on this topic, if you guys have any questions, we would love to be able to answer them to the best of our ability. I forgot to say that at the beginning of this session of the YokeTalk.
So good. We're working on it. I forgot to. So, but yeah, budgeting, super important. And you didn't mention it, but you need to put everything on your budget, right? Not just bills and like the big stuff. You need to put food. You need to put
groceries,
entertainment. You know, entertainment needs to go on your budget.
And sometimes entertainment might be $0, but hey, if you watch Disney Plus, put it under entertainment, $7 a month, $8 a month, something like that.
Whatever. But I think it's going up. I don't remember.
Yeah. I knew that was going to happen.
But
after a year or two.
All those things need to go on your budget. And, you know, maybe you have, if you really like fast food or you do fast food a lot, maybe you have a separate fast food budget. And then when you hit that budget, you're done. You don't spend no more.
For the month.
You're done. You're done. Now, that's not how I live my life because I don't have like a super strict budget. But if you need that, if money's really tight and you need to set those restrictions, you have to stick with them. Because that is what's going to keep you like financially stable. I don't do that personally because one, I'm just like naturally pretty good at gauging how much money I've spent and how much I should continue to spend for the month. So literally my budget is just a Word document and I like list all my expenses and like it just gives me an idea.
It's still a budget though.
Sure. But
to an extent.
I don't keep track of it. Like I don't look back every month and be like, okay, did I stick to my food budget? Did I stick to my entertainment budget? Yeah. And like I said, you might need to do that. You might need to do that and really, really make sure you're sticking to your budget. I don't. I'm fortunate to not have to stick to it super strictly. And then, like I said, I'm also just fairly good at gauging how much money I've spent and realizing when I should dial it back and wait a little bit. You know, if I get fast food a few times in the month already, I'm like, okay, well, that's probably enough.
Yeah. I try not to do fast food ever anymore because it will
racks up. And that's the thing. That's the thing that I wanted to get into, but I'll get into it now. You need to understand that little expenses will add up very quickly. And fast food is like the biggest culprit.
Nickel and diming.
The biggest culprit. Because you might look at it and be like, oh, it's just $10, you know, to get fast food today. You know, that's like nothing. Okay, well, how often do you get fast food? If you get fast food 3 times a week.
3 times a day.
That's $120 a month for fast food. You look at it like that and you're, and that's just 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And some people probably get it more than that. And you look at that and you go, wow, $120 a month. You know, I could buy something that I want for that and not just food that is going to be gone in minutes. Like,
I can buy an entire taco meal, right? For $10 that I can eat like 30 tacos if I just go to Walmart instead of getting Taco Bell for the same amount of price. So I know every time you have that guilty pleasure, and that's okay. We're not saying it's bad to get fast food. Maybe you're in a place where you can do that all the time.
Yeah, if you can afford that, go for it.
But regardless, just making sure your budget. Vic Sigma had a great question here though. He said, how do you account for expenses that only come up occasionally, like like car repairs, or maybe a bill you pay once every 6 months or once a year? And that's a really good question. Sure. What I would say for me, if you know, so once every 6 months, right? Something that you can do is you can put aside money and split it into 1/6. Okay. If it's a once
Put
every
it on
6
your
months,
budget, but at 1/6 the cost.
at 1/6 the cost, and then put that into a separate account, whether it be a savings account or another checking account that you have, whatever it is that you have. You can do it that way. There's another thing that a lot of people do. They just have a savings account and a checking account, and they budget out everything, and whatever is left over, they don't just go out and spend it. They throw it into their savings.
Yep.
And so this is for house repairs, hospital bills, car repairs, because you never know what can happen. So if you spend everything that you have, and then all of a sudden, like right now, my car, right, sitting in a driveway, dead as a doornail.
Feels bad.
Battery's gone. I need money for a battery. But if financial times come upon you, and we got to set aside
financial
money.
times come upon you.
They do. And you got to set aside money, save that money. Don't just spend it right away, but save that money. If you can, not everybody can, but if you can, set that money aside every single month to be able to pay those unexpected emergency bills, whatever that might be. And yeah, it's tough sometimes. Finances are rough, but that's the other thing. Continue trusting in God that He is your provider. A lot of people trust in the paycheck and they don't trust in the provider. And that's the biggest thing. Like, don't trust in your paycheck, trust in the provider and God and who He is and the fact that He is going to take care of you. I mean, the Bible talks about Him taking care of us. He's like, why are you worrying about tomorrow? Why are you worrying about what you're going to eat? I feed the sparrows in the air. You don't think I'm going to feed you? I created you with my hands. I created the sparrow with my mouth. I'm going to take care of you.
Yeah. Savings should be part of your budget. If you're making a budget, savings should be on your budget. Savings is on my budget. I have automatically every week takes a certain amount out of my checking and puts it in my savings account. Now, I didn't start doing that until this year, but I do it now.
It's a healthy habit to get into. Even if you're not going to need it, then it's still a healthy thing to do, even if you're not going to need it, to be able to have that safety and that backup. And it gives you some security. Listen, the Bible talks about how wisdom and prosperity gives you security. It does. It helps you. Talks about not being in debt either. Now, does that mean that you can't go into debt with anybody? No, that's not what it means, but it's just better not to be in debt. It just is. It feels better. It feels better not being in debt. Birds are adorable and God takes care of them. Amen. And we are more adorable than birds. That's what my wife tells me about my face anyways.
Oh, yeah?
No, not really. She's never said that quote.
Those triangle freckles?
Oh, I forgot about the triangle freckles from last week. Feels bad, guys. Got the triangle freckles going on.
Never forget.
We'll never unsee it. We'll never unsee it.
Oh, man. All right. Well, do you have any more stuff on budgeting? That was a great question. It was.
Yeah, it was a really good question. I don't think I have anything else. I would just say try to be as smart as you can. I know that like I said, there are spenders out there and there are savers, but it can be really difficult, but try to be as smart as you can with your money. That doesn't mean you can't treat yourself every once in a while. It doesn't mean you can't buy any more video games. Okay. When stinking Skyward Sword comes out, I'm budgeting to get that game. Okay. That's going in my budget. My wife has already said that's okay. Like, it's going to go in our budget, but you need to budget out those things anyways. You might have to save up for a little while, not get it on day one. I know, crazy, but budgeting is super, super important. It will give you security. It will help you. But always remember, I think the biggest thing and biggest takeaway for me as a Christian is making sure to get on your hands and knees and pray to God and what He wants you to give to Him. I think that's probably the biggest thing, because it might be a number that doesn't make any sense to you. If you're comfortable with it, it's probably not coming from God. I'll put it that way. If you're comfortable with what He is telling you, then it's probably not coming from God. But if you get on your hands and knees and He gives you a number that doesn't make any sense, and you're like, I don't know how we're going to do this month, it's probably from Him, more than likely.
Because it should be sacrificial.
Yes,
and
it's supposed to be sacrificial.
If it's not hurting, it's not sacrificial.
And it's a form of worship. It's a form of worship. Giving is a form of worship. It really is. It really is. So,
but all right, that about wraps it up for our topics for the day. We can go through some quick little what we've been playing
Sure.
real quick before we head off. I actually played Breath of the Wild the other day.
Such a good game to go back to.
I had an itch, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to load up Breath of the Wild. I beat Super Mario Galaxy. I don't remember if I mentioned that on the YokeTalk yet, but I beat Super Mario Galaxy on the 3D All-Stars. So I was like, I didn't really have anything to jump to. There's a couple games on my backlog, but I just don't feel like starting them right now. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go play Breath of the Wild because I finished up Age of Calamity a little while ago. I got that Zelda itch. So I loaded up my Master Mode playthrough. Nice. And I played some Breath of the Wild and it was fun. It's magical.
That's awesome. Breath of the Wild. So I haven't had that itch in a while. And the reason why is because on stream I've been playing Immortals Phoenix Rising. But guys, as you guys remember last week, my Switch.
Well, it wasn't last week. It was a few days ago.
Oh, was it last week? Guys, yeah, it was a few days ago. My Switch. It hasn't been fixed yet, but I do have the fan. It's right here. It's in the box. I just need to crack open my Switch with Seraph, and he's gonna place it in.
Yeah, do you want to just drop that off with me tomorrow?
Maybe we'll see. Yeah. We'll see. Yeah. So it shouldn't take too long though, to be able to do it. But regardless, yeah, I'm gonna get that Switch fixed so that my game system doesn't die and burn out and a fan just crack on me or whatever's going on in there. So without my Switch, I've been streaming Final Fantasy 4 / Final Fantasy 2 in America. Been fun. I've been enjoying it. I love that game. Love that game ever since I was a kid. And then finally, the other game I've really been playing a lot is Overwatch. And you guys know that. And so I will say this. I was a Zen main. And I explained to you guys on Tuesday that Zenyatta gets a lot of flack in the low ranking systems because they just don't think he heals enough, and they don't care about how many kills you're getting. They really could care less. They just want heals. Hey, the tank's dead. It's obviously the healer's fault. Or it might be the fact that you jumped in there when everybody was dead. But hey, I'm not going to say anything, right? So you know what I do? I play Lucio now, and I don't get any flack at all. I got 19,000 healing in a game last night. Okay, we still lost, but the thing was 19,000 healing. That's a lot of healing. And so I'm enjoying it. So I'm a Lucio main now. I'm actually, and I will say this, I'm enjoying Lucio more than I was Zenyatta. Just the gameplay is different. It's faster. It's just, just riding along the walls. It's a lot of fun. So I'm healing people like crazy. And nobody says anything. I can get 1 kill, but if I get 5,000 healing with Lucio, 5. What I'm saying is they don't care about what your stats are in bronze or silver. They care about who you're playing. That's all they care about. They don't care about anything else. So maybe I'll stream Overwatch one of these days. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of streaming multiplayer games for the most part, but I've just had an itch. So maybe I'll stream Overwatch soon. But yeah, so I've been playing that a lot. So if I haven't been streaming at night, it's probably because I'm playing ranked in Overwatch.
And because your Switch is dead. But
but I've been playing Final Fantasy 4. So I'll be honest, the last 2 nights I played Overwatch.
Wonderful.
So good.
All right. Well, I think that wraps it up for our first Friday Yoke Talk. Thank you all so much for joining us. It was great having you all here in the center of the screen today. Shout out to the chat now being featured here.
Everybody
on
over
screen.
there.
So good. Amazing people. Beautiful. So we'll be back next week at 4:30 p.m. Eastern on Friday. For those of you that do listen to it recorded, just know that they will probably be going up on Mondays from now on. Obviously, this happens at the end of the workday on Friday now. So they will probably going up on the podcast and on YouTube on Mondays from now on. So if you are an avid listener of the recorded versions, then just know that will be the cycle for you. You can expect them to come out on Monday if you're not here with us live. And if you're not, that's fine. You don't have to be here live. We love you either way.
You should be, though.
Maybe, if you can. But
if you can. Twitch.tv/GodSquadChurch. You know where to find us.
You know where we be. Alrighty, Balls, do you have any closing words for the Yokers here on this beautiful Friday?
Hobbledy doogity gook.
What is that from? Is that from Harry Potter?
Harry Potter or something like that.
Something like.
I think it's from the Harry Potter books. I don't even think it's from the movie. I think it's from the first book. But those are my closing words.
Excellent. Well, hobbledy goobledy gook to all of you Yokers out there, and we will see you next time.
Bye, everybody.